Charlie Cook at 245 pounds, out of Grambling College. Pittsburgh Steelers for 9 years, and Jake the Snake Roberts, a double tough individual, and believe you me, these two men have been going after it hammer and tong. Charlie Cook, victim of a high hip toss that time by Snake Roberts, and Roberts closes in on him once again. Referee Bill Alfonso watching him carefully. And it's Roberts connecting with a hard right hand. And it is Roberts now. Just a few moments remaining, and it's Snake Roberts tripped up as he came off. He tripped up. Charlie Cook caught him. A beautiful flying shoulder block. A beautiful flying shoulder block by Charlie Cook. And Charlie Cook scores the pinfall. Charlie Cook scores the pinfall in this opening match. Asked Kevin Sullivan to join us here at ringside immediately preceding his match. I have a single question for Mr. Sullivan. Only 4 days remaining on Dusty Rhodes.
You don't have to remind me about the 4 days. I know. I've counted them down. Let me tell you this. I've never been scared a day in my life. Okay, I don't know how he did it. There was a bounty on his head. He put a mask on. He lasted. I know what he's intended to do. 4 days left. I'm not scared. I don't want anybody to believe that I'm scared, because in my heart, I know when he comes back, one-on-one, someday, Rhodes, someday soon, it will be me and you, and someday someone's going to have to pay hell, and it ain't going to be me.
All right, the comments from a very irritated, a very agitated Kevin Sullivan, and I am not sure that they're even going to wait for introductions here, but in case they are, let's turn it over to our ring announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this event, one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first from Pampa, Texas, weighing in at 285 pounds, Cowboy Ron Bass. His opponent from Boston, Massachusetts, at 230 pounds, Kevin Sullivan.
Kevin Sullivan moving out against Ron Bass. One fall, 20-minute time limit, and it's Bass with that broken hand, but he's using that cast rather effectively right now. Bass, of course, we've had quite a string of injuries. Buddy with Barry Windham coming back after a concussion. Now Mike Graham is out, injured by Roddy Piper. And Ron Bass, of course, with his broken hand.
That's right. It seems like wrestling has been getting completely out of hand here, Gordon. There's been so many injuries here. Ron Bass at least can function properly with this plaster cast on his hand. But then Barry Windham is out. Now Mike Graham is out. And right now it seems like Kevin Sullivan is in a lot of trouble. You know, when you had Kevin over here for the interview, it sounds like he is awfully worried that Dusty Rhodes, 4 more days, Dusty Rhodes can come back and face him man-on-man. And his contention is right now from Kevin Sullivan that Dusty's hiding behind the mask, but Dusty is the kind of man that does not have to hide from anyone, Gordon.
Well, that's a matter of fact. Barry Windham, of course, back in action at 110%. And it is Ron Bass. And, of course, it's not unusual in the Super Bowl and any pro football game. You're going to find one of the players with a cast on somewhere. And Bass is no exception to the rule here tonight in this wrestling match against Kevin Sullivan. Sullivan, of course, out of Boston, Massachusetts. Bass out of Pampas, Texas.
Well, you know, with a cast on your wrist or on an ankle or something like that, the cast does give you almost absolute protection. In fact, sometimes the cast can even be used as a weapon. It's rock hard. It's very solid. If you beat a man upside the head with a cast, I think the head will give in before the cast does. So it gives you good protection on there. And right now, Ron Bass does have Kevin in a lot of pain, a lot of trouble right now.
As a single armbar now on Kevin Sullivan as they go across to the far side of the ring. We are located, by the way, directly at ringside. And our cameramen, of course, we've been on an elongated tour around the country, pausing here in the great cigar city of Bass, taking a lot of punishment to the side of the head, the flat of the foot of Kevin Sullivan. Lashed out repeatedly to the side of the head and ear of Ron Bass. Sullivan. What? As he came off the ropes, it was Bass, connecting very solidly. I would say that Bass is staying a bit ahead of Sullivan in this match so far.
Well, if this was going to be judged on points, Gordon, certainly would be Ron Bass. But let's not ever underestimate Kevin Sullivan. Kevin Sullivan is very wily and tricky. But right now, it's absolutely Ron Bass has the upper hand. If Ron don't turn his back on him, he stays right on top of him. He's got Kevin on the run right now. The crowd's going wild now.
Bass catching him with a good forearm to the side of the head. Sullivan misses with a hard right hand. And you can hear the appreciation of the crowd here. And it is a jam-packed crowd of over thousands and thousands of people here in the building, and it is Kevin Sullivan directly over our broadcast table. And Bass brings him up. There's that power. Wait a second. Angelo Mosca just hit the ring. Mosca just hit the ring. The referee calls for the bell. Bass using that pass very effectively. And Mosca ducking away from Bass as Bass is trying to get him cornered. And it,
There's Kevin with a chair in the ring. They're going wild. They're going to need some help here. Something's going to happen.
It is Kevin Sullivan smashing away with that chair on the cast in the hand of Cowboy Ron Bass, and they're trying to rip that cast off, and it is Bass driven outside the ring right next to our broadcast table. Bass down on the canvas, Bass rather down on the floor, and he has got to have re-injured that hand. There's no question about it. He's got to have re-injured that hand. He's being attended to right now, and it was Kevin Sullivan obviously disqualified for outside interference, and they are attending to Ron Bass, and we'll be back. We'll be back. Roddy Piper in the ring now with Angelo Mosca, but Bill Alfonso. All right, Bill Alfonso is, as you can see, has just been explaining to me that Angelo Mosca has been suspended from television wrestling. Angelo Mosca and Kevin Sullivan have been suspended from television wrestling. For how long, I don't know. He said in view of their actions that took place just a few minutes ago that Mosca is suspended from wrestling on television. Roddy Piper continues to play his bagpipes in the center of the ring. And
I don't know what's going on. There's got to be some type of conspiracy. They just barred me from wrestling on television.
That's right. He is suspended. Wait a second. Mosca and Barry Windham battling it out. Mosca and Barry Windham battling it out outside the ring, and Barry Windham. Whoa, wait a second.
Well, I tell you, there's a lot of excitement. They're battling right down the aisle, Gordon. They're going back towards the back of the building. They're all four fighting out on the floor now.
Well, you've got Roddy Piper out. Who gave a pile driver to him outside?
This is one of the most dangerous things. A pile driver on the floor, Gordon. This could cripple a man for life. This could put him completely out of action.
Piper now beating a hasty retreat from the ring, but we've got to have help for Charlie Cook. We've got to have help. Let's somebody bring, let's have some help for Charlie Cook, please. He was given a pile driver outside the ring on the floor by Roddy Piper. Piper, who has put Mike Graham out of action, and it certainly appears to me that he has put a tremendously gallant competitor, Charlie Cook, who is taking the place of Mike Graham, and it appears that he is down and out. Be careful, gentlemen, please. Be very careful. We've got a stretcher. We've got a stretcher. Be very careful. Neck injuries and spinal injuries here, buddy, are a crucial factor with that pile driver.
Gordon, when someone gets a pile driver, even in the ring, many states a pile driver is completely barred, outlawed from wrestling, even inside the ring where there is some padding and some cushion. However, on the floor, there is absolutely no give. It is solid. This can jam the vertebrae in your neck. This can permanently cripple a man. This can put a man out of action for good. It's quite obvious that Charlie Cook is severely injured. He's not moving a muscle. There's no motion coming from him at all. He's just laying there completely motionless. They have a stretcher down there to carry him back. This man's going to need a lot of medical help, I'm sure.
All right, Terry Allen down there now, Barry Windham, the referee, Bruce Tharp, Bill Alfonso. and they are beginning to render assistance to him. They do have a stretcher, and we'll be back just as quickly as we can.
Everyone has heard of the Midnight Rider. He is the masked wrestler from Diablo Canyon, Colorado, who captured the hearts of the public as no other wrestler has. On the evening of the 9th of February at the Convention Center in Miami, the Midnight Rider had a title match against the world champion, Ric Flair. He defeated Ric Flair for the world title, which is, Ric Flair has held the title for some time. Bob Geigel, the president of the N.W.A., was a special referee for that match. Afterwards, he went into the dressing room to congratulate the Midnight Rider, but he also had another mission. He told the Midnight Rider that the world champion could not be an unknown, and that he would have to reveal his identity if he wanted to keep the title. The Midnight Rider thought long and hard about it, and in the early hours of the morning, he told the president of the N.W.A. that he would not reveal his identity, and he would give back the belt and give up the world title. Bob Geigel ordered the match stricken from the record. Ric Flair is still the world champion. The Midnight Rider gave us a statement telling us his feelings, and from what I have gotten from this statement, it sounds like we will not be hearing any more from the Midnight Rider. Why don't we listen to what he has to say?
For the last time. 60 days or so ago when I came to this environment of a promoter's office, and I sat down with CWF and signed to wrestle, the Midnight Rider knew that he couldn't let him catch me, you know. I mean, I was always on the run. And with your love and your help and your whole hearts that opened up for the Midnight Rider within these 60 days have made a man feel proud. And I love you for that. And I'll never forget you for that. And when I'm needed, I'll come again. And I'll ride again, because they'll never catch the Midnight Rider. The world's heavyweight title belonged to the Midnight Rider. The night of the mask, Ric Flair was pinned in the middle of the ring. And people have asked why the decision to keep your identity. Well, if you don't keep your identity, if you don't keep to your morals, or you don't keep to something that you put your head strong at in this life, then you ain't much of a man. And I said they'll never know the Midnight Rider's identity. So now I leave you. But in my heart, I'm a better man for knowing you and loving you. And the Midnight Rider will always rise, because I can't let him catch me. I can't let him catch the Midnight Rider. I say goodbye to all my little buckaroos.
The Global Tag Team Championship match underway, one fall with a 1-hour time limit. Deep into this match now, Terry Allen and the Midnight Rider going up against the fabulous Kangaroos. The Kangaroos are the Global Tag Team Champions. And it is Terry Allen in the ring now with a side headlock on one of the Kangaroos. The Midnight Rider has just come out of the ring itself, having tagged up with Terry Allen. It has been a tough but a close-fought battle all the way.
Gordon, this has just been a fantastic match from the time the bell rang. It's just too bad these wrestling fans are viewing now and haven't had a chance to see the entire match. There's just excitement in the air tonight. The Midnight Rider and Terry Allen are making a great, fantastic tag team. And I believe if anyone can ever unseat this team of the Global Champions, the Kangaroos here, this could possibly be the team. They are really, looks like they've been training together. The moves are coordinated together, and they are really working hard together.
Quarter Nelson now by Terry Allen, and you see the Midnight Rider trying to get over to complaining about something to the referee, but nonetheless, this is for the Global Tag Team Championship, one fall. a 1-hour time limit. And it was Allen a moment ago with a beautiful block. Forearm into the side of the rib cage now on Terry Allen. Allen from Virginia Beach, Virginia. The Midnight Rider from Diablo Canyon, Colorado. And, of course, the Kangaroos, the Global Tag Team Champions, at a combined weight of 468 pounds from Sydney, Australia. And it's Allen keeping that side headlock.
You know, Gordon, it's very seldom you ever get a televised tag team title match like this, especially for the Global Tag Team title. But tonight, not only is there one title involved, there is a World's Heavyweight Championship match with Ric Flair going against Scott McGhee later on in the program. And I just hope that we have time to show parts of that match here tonight, because that's just going to be a fantastic match with Ric Flair against a man with Scott McGhee's ability.
No question about that. It's going to be an outstanding match, and that is upcoming later on here this evening on Championship Wrestling. Referee Bill Alfonso down there checking with the Kangaroos, see if he wants to concede. Terry Allen keeping constant pressure now on the Kangaroos. And because of this match being one fall with a 1-hour time limit, there you see the Midnight Rider. If we do have to cut away to a commercial, should a pinfall or a submission hold, beautiful drop kick by Allen. Had the Kangaroo down. Allen tried to go for it again. The Kangaroo was a step ahead of him that time.
Well, look at that backdrop there. That was the double teaming. But right now, here comes the Midnight Rider into the referee. Well, with the referee's back is turned, there they are. They're double teaming Terry Allen. They've got him in trouble now with a double body slam. That's a hard drop there on the back. This is where the referee cannot see everything.
His attention momentarily diverted, and Allen could be in trouble. Instead, of course, he is from Virginia Beach, Virginia, and he's trying to get over to make that tag now with the Midnight Rider. Should we have to cut away to a commercial break, a pinfall or submission hold should occur during that period of time. Our N.W.A. camera crews will be videotaping, and we'll bring it back to you on instant replay.
Right now, it seems like the Kangaroos are doing their utmost to keep Terry Allen in their corner, where he doesn't have a chance to tag out the Midnight Rider. Well, there's Terry Allen fighting back, but not quite enough. He doesn't have his full faculties with him yet.
Backbreaker now on Allen. There goes the Midnight Rider after him, but the referee cuts him off at the pass. Meanwhile, double the punishment on Terry Allen. They've got him down.
It's just the strength and intestinal fortitude of Terry Allen. He's able to kick out from under that pin.
Indeed he is. We're going to have to cut away for just a minute for a commercial break. We'll be back in just a moment. Their team has been able to score a pinfall or a submission hold, and Terry Allen trying desperately to tag up with the Midnight Rider. One fall, 1-hour time limit, the Global Tag Team Championship on the line. And the Kangaroos have Allen back in their own corner again, buddy, and things are not looking good.
No, Gordon, they've had Terry Allen over there in their corner now, going on probably 3 or 4 minutes. He's punishing him, beating on his back. These constant body slams. This goes onto his spinal column. The nerves going up to his spinal cord, to his back, and the man is almost helpless now. And I think they're not about to let him get back to his corner, the Midnight Rider. If he can't make that tag, the Midnight Rider could possibly save the day for him, but right now it doesn't look very good for Terry Allen.
You can see from our camera on the floor an interesting angle there at Terry Allen. Trying desperately to get over and make that tag, but he's dazed, he's battered, he's bruised. You can see the hand of the Midnight Rider in the upper part of your screen reaching out, and you can see the intensity as he can almost feel the electricity here. How desperately he wants to make that tag. Allen explodes to the midsection, a good high knee lift. Allen down, trying to reach up, makes the tag. The Midnight Rider moves back into the ring. And the Rider's exploding. The Kangaroos staying at the front of that elbow, and the Midnight Rider.
Looks like the Midnight Rider has things well under control momentarily. Well, the Midnight Rider by himself there with the 2 Kangaroos. Terry Allen about to come in to help.
It was Allen delivering a beautiful flying drop kick, and it is...
Look at that. We have new Global Tag Team Champions, Gordon. The Midnight Rider and Terry Allen are the new Tag Team Champions for the entire globe.
Let's see if we can't get him down here for an interview. We've got brand new Global
Sully, Terry, you know the situation I'm in. And when I'm in a situation like this, I know what to do. You know I can't keep this hand. But I know one thing. I'm going to give you the belt. He's going to have both belts. Because the Midnight Rider can't let him catch me. I can't let him catch me. Right here is the Global Tag Team Champion, Terry Allen.
Well, I'll tell you, I can't think of anything in the rules and regulations of the N.W.A. or the global bylaws that says he can't do that. So I have to believe at this time in my mind that his action is correct, and the Midnight Rider passing has the right to pass that on to Terry Allen, which he has done. Terry Allen, the Global Tag Team Champions.
National Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Title Match. One fall with a 1-hour time limit. Introducing first the challenger from Scotland, weighing in at 220 and 3/4 pounds, Scott McGhee. His opponent from Minneapolis, Minnesota, weighing in at 242 pounds, the heavyweight wrestling champion of the world, Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
N.W.A. World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion Ric Flair. Another one of those $5,000 robes that he wears into the ring. Now displaying the 10 pounds of solid gold, the golden diamond encrusted N.W.A. World Heavyweight Championship belt. Ric Flair, who has proven to be an outstanding champion, no question about this, going up against a very, very, very fine competitor from Scotland, a second-generation competitor, Scotty McGhee. I tell you what, Scott McGhee, buddy, has to be the sentimental favorite tonight. The fans are solidly behind him. He doesn't have the experience of a Ric Flair. He has not had the kind of pressure that Ric Flair has had to take over the last year, but he has got that youthful impetuosity. He's got that great sense of fair play and tremendous drive. It ought to be one heck of a match.
Well, Gordon, it certainly will be. Scott McGhee absolutely is a fantastic wrestler. He's proven that time and time again. He's held the Global Tag Team Championship. He has held many local and regional titles in his illustrious career in professional wrestling. Right now, he is going against a very fine world champion wrestler. But the world champion does have a very tough, rugged schedule. If he has an off night, a man like Scott McGhee could very easily dethrone Ric Flair and take that gold-encrusted belt, that solid gold belt, for his very own. Right now, Scott McGhee does have the determination, the youthfulness, and the speed, and he is in fantastic condition. He's a man that gets last all night.
And by the way, let me in comment on what Buddy just said. Wasting a takedown by the champion. Champion tried to post the arm in McGhee very quickly. Escapes up off a good shoulder smack, drives the champion into canvas. McGhee up and over his man, that time a leapfrog by the champion. And it was McGhee catching the champion that time. Across the side of the head. Beautiful move by McGhee, has the champion in trouble.
Right now, McGhee just has to stay right on it, don't let up.
Might point out that in the event that this match does not come to a conclusion before the end of our program, that we will try and bring you the balance of the match next week here on Championship Wrestling. But of course, this match could end in the next 15 seconds, or it could be another 55 minutes.
Well, Gordon, I've seen World Championship matches over in less than a minute. I've seen World Championship matches go on an hour for the entire time limit. So there's just no telling in a title match like this. Ric Flair has so much to lose. Besides the title, it's his right now is his personality. The world's title means so much to Ric Flair that the money is sometimes a secondary object to him. It's the honor and the prestige of claiming to be world's champion. Ric Flair would do anything to prevent losing this. But on the other hand, Scott McGhee, with his youthfulness, determination, and his vigor, he will do likewise anything to gain that title.
It is Scotty McGhee now with the variation of side force lock, and now it is a good reversal, and it is Flair Upended to the canvas and a good hip lock takedown again, but Flair tries to roll McGhee into a pinning combination.
You can see that Scott McGhee has some very powerful arms there. He keeps pushing and putting that pressure on Ric Flair's head, trying to wear him down. As I said before, if you can control a man's head, you control his body and keep that head down. Just keep the pressure on the head. Keep twisting the head, putting the pressure on that spinal cord, on the vertebrae in the back of the neck there.
He's got that European form of a cravat on the champion now, and of course, this is something that even though he is the world champion, Ric Flair has got some areas where Scott McGhee has an advantage on him. The fact that being born and raised in Scotland, a lot of things he has learned over there in the European style of wrestling that Flair has not known as long as Scott McGhee has. And a match of this kind of international flavor, certainly anything could and possibly will happen.
Well, Scott McGhee has traveled around the world, and he's learned quite a bit from wrestling in Pakistan, India, Australia, Japan, and all. And you can tell right here from sitting where I'm at that the world's champion is in a great deal of pain.
Into the ring ropes now, referee Bill Alfonso calling to the break. And Scott McGhee, and it is Flair with a quick back out. And Flair agitating McGhee and got McGee's temper going. And Buddy, having been in the ring for many years yourself, that generally is the worst mistake you can make, is to lose your temper.
That's right. During my wrestling career, many times I would deliberately try to get my opponent mad and make them lose their temper. When they get mad, lose their temper, they don't think straight. When you don't think straight, you make mistakes. You make mistakes, you lose the match. And sometimes a youngster like Scott McGhee will lose his temper, which is a very bad mistake. But it seems like he has regained his coolness now, and he has the match under control again.
As the side headlock now in the World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair in the blue trunks. Keeping a side headlock on him, referee Bill Alfonso moving around. Alfonso, an outstanding official, by the way. He is licensed and certified in full contact karate, boxing, and, of course, in wrestling. He prefers wrestling, as he says. He has a profound respect for these masters of the game of human chess. And he is a good, firm, fair-minded, tough official.
Well, Gordon, it seems like Scott McGhee not only has a headlock, he has the arm bar there where he's able to put even more pressure on the man's head, which even makes it a little more difficult for Ric Flair to get out of that hold. And he's putting all of his body weight right on top of the champion, which even more wears him down, makes him lose his wind, his endurance. Just keep your weight on top of a man. Pretty soon, if they run out of gas, they run out of wind, then they're in a lot of trouble.
Flair's face beginning to redden considerably, and which means he's having some problems breathing now. And so Scott McGhee may be figuring that he's a few years a junior to Flair, and that he may have a little more stamina, a little more go power, a little more speed. Maybe he figures if he gets him, cuts enough air supply down, that lactic acid isn't going to burn off as rapidly, and pretty soon physical fatigue starts to set in.
Well, Scott McGhee is wrestling a very well-planned match right now, very scientific. Everything he does, he's going back for the man's head. Right now, it wouldn't surprise me if whatever comes up, that Scott McGhee will try some way to get into Ric Flair's head again, a side headlock, a reverse hammerlock, anything. He's got him in a headlock again, just like I figured.
Flair that time drove one into the midsection and then a chop across the throat. And Scott McGhee hurtled from the ring. And look at the way this man powered back into the ring. Brother, you talk about a reverse catapult. McGhee was out and in a flash.
Well, this shows the conditioning and training that Scott McGhee has put into it. Scott McGhee is really up for this match. He's trained long and hard, many hours for this. Right now, he's in one of the peak conditions of his career.
And brother, look at the ice-cold intensity in the eyes of Scott McGhee and Flair. If he didn't think so before, has to believe right now that he's in a battle for his life out here.
Well, I don't believe that Ric Flair underestimated Scott McGhee. I believe Ric Flair knew that he was going to be in for a battle. He's had films of Scott McGhee, and he was ready for it. Look at this high backdrop there. Scott McGhee is a fantastic drop kick.
Airborne again by Scott McGhee, and McGhee now with a hip lock takedown, and Flair trying to turn that to his own advantage. Scott McGhee now with a side force headlock, and now as Flair tried to fire him off, McGhee brought him to his knees. And again, Flair blocked. Beautiful moves by Scott McGhee. He is ahead of the champion. He is thinking ahead of the champion.
Well, it seems like right now that perhaps the champion is running out of a little wind. His breathing has slowed down. Scott McGhee keeps putting that pressure on the headlock, in which it cuts down the breathing. You put that pressure on the head and the neck, the breathing slows down. You can't think as fast. Earlier, when he went to throw Scott McGhee out, he was able to get him off. Right now, Scott McGhee, with his tenacity, is able to hang on there and keep putting the pressure on.
Scott McGhee now with that side force headlock, and the referee, Bill Alfonso, checking carefully, watching the champion.
The champion right now is trying to find some way of countering this move, some way of getting out of this side headlock and coming back on top. I'm sure he's sitting there, he's in there trying to think the best way he can, because like I said before, for every move there is a counter. But once you counter it, there's always a counter for the counter.
Good side shoulder by McGhee, and that time the champion was ready. McGhee caught that time by the champion. Now McGhee rolls to one side. The champion driving an elbow down, and now a hip lock takedown by Scott McGhee. Champion looked like he had the trunks that time, and
well, there's Scott McGhee still putting the pressure on the head, but over here on my side looks like the champion's legs are outside the ring.
What was the first thing you'd notice about an opponent if he began to tire or if he began to get short of breath? What would you notice first about the weakening of his condition?
Well, you could just feel from the tenseness of his body, his strength is giving out. He doesn't come back. He doesn't move as fast. Right now, you can look at the champion. He's moving very slowly. He's tired. He's worn out. Even though he has his opponent in trouble, the champion is not 100% himself right now. Oh, this side play here. This is a devastating hold. I've seen matches won with this hold.
I'll tell you what, they've been going in for it hammer and tong, and it is Scott McGhee. Now, beautiful counter by McGhee. McGhee countered very nicely as the champion tried to set him up. McGhee hooked the leg in behind him. And now it's McGhee reversing the situation on the champion.
It looks like the champion is in a lot of trouble, and you see the agony on his face. This could be it, Gordon.
Champion able to power out before, and wait a minute, the champion backing out of the ring. Gotta hand it to him, you gotta hand it to him. He felt the momentum changing, and
well, he knew he was in trouble. He knew it was time to get out of the ring and perhaps take an 8 or a 9 count to try and regain his faculties, get his wind back. But you know, Gordon, it's just fantastic. We've already seen one tag team title change hands, like the global tag team title was lost by the Kangaroos. It's very possible here the same night that Ric Flair could lose his World Heavyweight Championship.
So things are certainly looking up right now for Scott McGhee. They've been going at it now for around 11 to 12 minutes, and that's about as much actual body contact. That's very close to as much body contact as you'd have in an entire pro football game, and there have been no timeouts here. The champion did break the momentum at one point. Now the champion, a bit of psychological warfare on McGhee. McGhee keeps circling his man, and good psychology on McGhee's part. He's showing that he's still fresh. He's still got plenty of energy. The champion luring him in now, and let's see what occurs. Champion got McGhee slightly off guard, caught him with his shoulder coming in. Now the full arm drag and twist on Scott McGhee. And our time is rapidly running out on this hour. As I said, of course, we'll bring you as much as we can next week. If this match has not reached a conclusion by the time that our hour of championship wrestling is up. And brother, the champion now exploding with everything that he's got on Scott McGhee. And McGhee fires back. And McGhee has him in trouble. McGhee's got the champion in trouble. He's driving the champion back. He's right up over our corner. If the champion being on to the far side, he's up on top of those ropes. And our time continues to run out. McGhee's got the champion down. The champion is in a lot of trouble. The champion's falling now. McGhee has got an opportunity here, and he's closing in. And our time is rapidly... The champion ripping across the eyes, and our time is completely gone for this hour. We'll see you next week at the same time. Well, he may be down, but he is not out. He is still giving it everything he's got. But the champion does seem to be moving with a little more confidence than he did earlier. And certainly McGhee is taking a lot more punishment. And each time he takes another percussion like that, he has to be slowed down some more. The system cannot be operating properly. And now McGhee is beginning to gasp a little bit for breath.
Well, you're absolutely right, Gordon. It's quite obvious that Scott McGhee is in trouble with a knee drop across the forehead there. Scott McGhee runs out a little more gas. Every time he does take a body slam, a elbow across the chest, a knee in the head, this hurts. Your body can only take so much punishment. After a while, you're completely out. Right now, it looks like there's the world champion. Looks like it could be a brain buster coming down here.
High vertical suplex, and McGhee, as the champion, very wearily moved on top of him into a lateral press, and McGhee powered out again. And brother, you talk about second effort. This young fella's got it.
Well, Gordon, for McGhee powering out of something like that, this shows this man is in fantastic. He's got so much determination. He just doesn't know the word quit. This man will never quit or give up. It would have to take his last dying breath, and he won't quit. He's really got what it takes. This is a fantastic young athlete. We're going to be hearing a lot of Scott McGhee. If he don't beat him tonight, he will sometime in the future, but he's still got a chance. The world champion is staying right on top. The world champion won't give him a break at all.
This is where earlier in the match, twice McGhee had the champion in real trouble. Twice. He did not, as you even said, he should have moved in immediately.
That's right.
He didn't. He delayed, and that's all somebody like Ric Flair needs. And it's a psychological situation as well as physical.
You're right, Gordon. See, earlier in the match when Scott McGhee had the champion in trouble, if he had stayed right on top of him, he very possibly could be the world champion right now, but he backed off. He gave the champion a chance to get up, and you can't give a man like the champion an even break at all because he sure won't give you one.
Piledriver, but they're into the ropes.
The champion right now taking advantage of every opportunity. Looks like he's going for another piledriver.
McGhee offends him. McGhee offends him, and the champion has to be thinking in his mind, what do I have to do to stop him?
That was a fantastic counter by Scott McGhee. It seemed like this man comes up with a lot. There's another counter by Scott McGhee into a sleeper hold. He's putting a sleeper hold on the world champion. This could be it, Gordon. We could have a new world champion here tonight.
Scott McGhee has applied the sleeper hold to Ric Flair, the N.W.A. World Heavyweight Champion, and he's clamping down. The champion has to feel darkness closing in now.
If Scott McGhee can just keep this man from the ropes, keep him in the middle of the ring, keep him away from those ropes, Scott, and you'll be the new world champion.
McGhee clamping down, the champion reaching out, trying to get to those ropes. The champion a scant 6 or 7 inches away. McGhee clamping down, and you can hear the crowd picking up the roar now as they can sense that Ric Flair can sense that heavyweight championship belt slipping away from him as darkness closes in, as the belt and consciousness both begin to fade from Ric Flair, the N.W.A. World Heavyweight Champion. Referee checking 2. Got a foot over. That forces the break.
Gordon, all of the professional wrestling matches I've had, anytime a sleeper hold on was on me, I found out the only real counter for this was to get to the ropes. It's very difficult to break a sleeper hold. Just getting to the ropes is the best way out. And fortunately for the champion, Ric Flair was able to get to the ropes. It seems like the tide of battle has suddenly turned. That sleeper hold took an awful lot out of the champion. You know, it stops the blood flow to your brain. When your brain doesn't get blood, you go out. You can't think clearly. Nothing. Everything slows down. You're moving in slow motion. Right now, the champion is slow motion.
Actually, McGhee in that back suplex may have done the champion a favor, because that percussion to the back could have stimulated the heartbeat once again, picking up the blood pressure, giving the champion that added flow of blood to the brain that he needed, and McGhee coming off the ropes that time. The champion was able to roll back out of the way. His wits are about him once again. He missed that time, and McGhee got him with a cross body block, partially blocked by the champion. The champion powers out once again, and McGhee.
Right now, McGhee is backing off again. McGhee should go in right in to get it. But he went in a little bit careless. Look, it seems like the champion got McGhee with a low blow there, but not quite hard enough. McGhee is right back on top of him. Now
McGhee high knee lift now by Scott McGhee, and the champion back on his feet. McGhee catches him once again. And the N.W.A. World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair in trouble. Ooh, brother. And Flair now, with reckless abandon, firing out at Scott McGhee.
Gordon, both men can hardly move now. They are so exhausted in this exhausting and grueling match. They have gone full force now for over a half hour into this match. And this, look at this.
Beautiful move by McGhee. Atomic knee drop that has the champion. Champion is down again. McGhee closing in now. McGhee. Wild-eyed fury. Ooh, no.
Unfortunate move for Scott McGhee. It looked like he might have had the champion in really bad trouble then, Gordon.
Had to wrench his back on that one as he hurtled into those ropes. The champion slipped to one side. McGhee had to really wrench his back, and the champion very quickly. Vertical suplex has the count. Well, a tremendous match. I'll tell you what, buddy. Scott McGhee, if it means anything to him, certainly, in my opinion, has taken the moral victory of the N.W.A. World Heavyweight Champion, Ric Flair.
You're absolutely right, Gordon.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next event is a lights out, no disqualification event, no time limit. Introducing first from Dillon, South Carolina, weighing in at 268 pounds, the freight train Rufus R. Jones. His opponent from the south side of Chicago at 320 pounds, Bad Leroy Brown.
Bad Leroy Brown on the far side of the ring, going up against Rufus R. Jones, the freight train, Mr. Magic as he's called. A guy with a tremendous personality, an unusual, unorthodox style in the ring, buddy.
Well, he certainly does have an unusual style. I've known Rufus R. Jones for probably about 15 years. I met him back in Kansas City many years back. And he came in there he was quite a flash there. I mean, he was Mr. Magic there. He always has been. He brings a lot of personality, a lot of color to the ring. But right now it seems like he's had a lot of problems with Big Bad Leroy Brown. And Big Bad Leroy Brown doesn't want his brother calling him brother. And it seems like Rufus R. Jones insists that everybody is his brother.
He does indeed, and it is Leroy Brown who comes into this match with a definite superiority complex.
Oh, absolutely. He does have a superiority complex. However, Rufus R. Jones might bring Leroy Brown down to a little bit lower. He might get rid of that complex somewhat.
They lock up. Brown at the same token. Ooh, a headbutt. And no effect on Rufus.
Well, sooner or later, somebody's head has to give, and I don't care how thick that skull is, somebody's head is going to soften after there's headbutts like that, because you start pounding away at that brain up there, and something's got to give, Gordon.
Locking up once again, and it's Rufus R. Jones pulling Brown back into the corner. You talk about two big men. 320 pounds on Bad Leroy Brown. He's in the black, Rufus R. Jones in the red.
Well, it seems like Rufus R. Jones' style is to kind of get Big Bad Leroy Brown disoriented. He moves around a lot and keeps him confused as to what he's going to do next. It seems like Rufus R. Jones does have quite a few moves. Big Bad Leroy Brown really beating on the back of Jones' head now. He's got him in a little trouble here, but I don't think Rufus R. Jones is out yet. He's got a lot of determination. He starts beating him in the head now. That's where this man can take a lot of punishment. He's got a very hard head.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about Big Bad Leroy Brown, and I went into some of his background. I went up on Western Avenue in the south side of Chicago, and I'll guarantee you about this fella. He's been in a lot of Chicago street fights. He knows what it's like to mix it up. He may not be the fanciest wrestler in the world, but Brown is bad news when it comes to those dukes.
Well, Gordon, when a man is 320 pounds, grown up in the west side of Chicago in street fights, he's tough. Because you have to take a lot of punishment just to survive in streets like that, and he can take it out. He can dish it and take it both. Right now, he does have Rufus in a little trouble here.
On those ring ropes, and it is Rufus Jones back into the center part of the ring, and bad Leroy Brown closing in on him once again.
Well, it looks like Rufus R. Jones is really going to have to try and do a little thinking here, try to get his wits back with him, and he's going to have to come up with some good counters down here because he is in trouble now. It seems like for the last 2 or 3 minutes, Leroy Brown has just been punishing Rufus R. Jones, and well, here he comes. He's coming at him now, but not quite enough.
Well, it's a lights-out match. Anything goes. It's outside the sanction of the N.W.A. Wow. Jones explodes back, explodes again.
See, with a lights-out match, the referee is almost powerless to do anything in there. The referee is just there to count the pinfalls or listen to a man submit. There can be no fines or no disqualification in the lights-out match because absolutely anything goes.
Brother Jones wound up from the backyard. He caught Brown alongside the ear. That percussion of the ear had to make him lose his balance, and he had Brown's eyes rolling.
Well, when 320 pounds the guy falls down, it makes an awful big thud going down. Now he's out here on the floor with Rufus R. Jones right behind him, going after him. Rufus R. Jones is not giving him a chance. He's staying right on him now.
They've got him battling right out here on the floor. And, ooh, brother. He drove Rufus R. right into the ring post. Caught him on that steel ring post.
Well, Gordon, it looks to me like Rufus R. Jones' forehead is lacerated. The right here beside me now. There's big bad Leroy Brown just putting out a lot of punishment on Rufus R. Jones now. Right here on my table, right in front of me. Yes, absolutely. Rufus R. Jones' forehead is got a severe laceration about his head. Looks like Leroy Brown is right on top of him, trying to tear his eyes out.